American muscle thrashing through the turns of the nation's finest road courses. That's Trans Am. And this historic racing series is back, stronger than ever. Wrangling a full-bodied fendered car around curves like these is a test of skill, nerve, and endurance. And that's certainly true here at the longest track on the tour. Trans Am, America's road racing series, is at Road America. And all the action starts right now. Welcome to Road America. We're in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin for Trans Am, America's road racing series. Today, the VP Small Engine Fuels 100 Miles of Madness. Hello again, everyone. I'm Rick Benjamin. NASCAR star Michael McDowell joins me for the call in a moment. Greg Creamer has our pit-side coverage this weekend. What a weekend for the Trans Am series. First time back on television in 7 seasons for the newly revived and refurbished Trans Am. 3 classes to do battle here on this 4-mile circuit at Road America. The traditional Trans Am rocket ships. TA2, a battleground between Camaro and Mustang, and now TA3 with international and American muscle entries. Trans Am 50 cars strong here at Road America this weekend, and a ton of great stories in the paddock. Let's get you filled in on Trans Am racing. Here's Greg.
A current Trans Am category car is an evolutionary monster from a GT1 machine. Got a wing on the back, you've got to have some aero grip at the back of the car because you run a spec Hoosier tire. It's a great tire, but they're mandated only 14 inches wide. Then you get to the cockpit, very busy place in the office for the drivers of these machines. As we continue to move a little bit more forward, the front end of the car, you have to run steel rotors with an aluminum caliper and piston system, but again, not that wide a tire with these Hoosiers. They're very good. At the very front, there's a splitter down there. Helps with some aerodynamics, but you don't have massive dive planes. That means you have to harness power from this. 800 to 850 horsepower in the current Trans Am car. This is what makes these things so special. It makes them a beast. Top speeds here at Road America, almost 180 miles an hour. Wicked quick.
Those essentially are NASCAR Sprint Cup motors, Michael McDowell. You ought to be very familiar with the power one of these Trans Am cars makes.
A lot of power in these Trans Am cars, and really cool to see them at Road America. Such a great road course.
Great starting lineup today, nearly 48 cars strong for the VP Small Engine Fuels 100. A guy you know well, Doug Peterson, the defending champion on the pole.
Absolutely. It's cool to see Doug out there and starting from the pole. Did a lot of racing Star Miles with him, and definitely a supporter of my career.
Race winner Simon Gregg in Road 2 alongside Cliff Eben and a Ford who's won a lot of times here at Road America. John Bauckham from Charlotte. Cliff's teammate Denny Lammers back starting in the 6th position in another Ford Mustang here. Taking back to row number 4 for the VP Small Engine Fuels 100. Jim McAleese in the 03. David Furstand at the 05 will line up in the 8th position here today. Back to row number 5, Tim Rubright in the 77. Richard Grant in car number 30. He'll line up outside row number 5. A little deeper in the field, we'll take a look at some of the other starters here today. Henry Gilbert in the 2 car and Mickey Wright in car number 6, one of Jim Durhag's Chevrolets. She will start back outside the 6th row as the field starts to warm the tires. The series veteran Kerry Hitt lines up 13th. In 13th position in the 19 car. Tom Ellis in the 51 will start in 14th spot. David Pinteric in the 57, and veteran Tony Ave, former champion in the 04.
Yeah, it's surprising seeing Tony Ave back there. He's built a lot of these Trans Am cars, a lot of experience on a road race, and he's definitely going to be a guy coming through the field.
Tony Ave will try now. Brand new in the last couple of seasons, the TA2 class, one of the real growth areas for Trans Am.
Yeah, I really like the direction Trans Am's going with this TA2. It's a cost-effective platform, allows you to have a spec motor, a lot of spec parts, but it still gives you that raw feel of the Trans Am cars. 500 horsepower, plenty enough horsepower around Road America, so these cars are going to be very quick, but it really allows somebody to get into the sport in a cost-effective way.
Show you some of the starters in TA2. Points leader Cameron Lawrence, who won the championship a year ago. Adam Andretti from the Racing Andretti clan. Joe Eben. Ron Keith has done very well in one of Mike Cope's cars. Bob Stretch. Ty Dillon, the NASCAR Nationwide Series star, taking a Trans Am ride this weekend.
Yeah, this is really an opportunity for Ty to get more seat time at Road America, just to have the whole weekend where he's on the racetrack. And, you know, road racing is definitely different for the Dillon family, so it gives him an opportunity to get some track time.
A.J. Hendrickson, an ARCA Series veteran, will start 11th. Frank Lussier, Britt Casey, Nathan Stokey, David Mashik, Tim Gray, Alan Malarchik, Mel Shaw, and a host of others in these TA2 Camaros and Mustangs. And something new again a year or two ago, TA3. We have an international and an American spec category.
Well, really cool here. You know, you're taking a production car and putting it on the racetrack, and this gives the entry-level guy an opportunity to get out on the racetrack and experience just what it's like to drive at Road America in these great road races across the U.S.
The TA3 American Muscle category looks a lot like a TA2 car. Again, Camaros and Mustangs. Less power in these cars.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. You got a little rivalry going between the internationals and American made, so it's really cool.
A lot of cars in that field as well. Again, nearly 50 cars on the entry list. 48 will take the green here today. Jason Berkeley and Jerry Green, Todd Napierowski and Ernie Francis, Clint Sawinski and Milton Grant, Rich Jones. Chuck Casaro has been very successful in this class. Rob Bodel, Norman Betts, and Tom Ellis in the 11th starting position. Glad to have VP Small Engine Fuels on board here this weekend. Safety car is in, and we're ready to go racing. 100 miles of madness here at Road America. Glad to have you with us. Doug Peterson gets a great hole shot on the field as they come under the green.
Yeah, it looks like he caught him sleeping there a little bit. That's quite a coming to the green there.
Amy Ruman in second spot, and that 23 car won the most recent Trans Am round at New Jersey Motorsports Park. But Doug Peterson, the defending series champ in the 3A machine, he is off to a great start here.
Yeah, it's amazing. So cool to see these cars around Road America. Just the sound that you get from a Trans Am car is nothing like anything else you experience in racing.
So Peterson is your leader, Amy Ruman in second, Cliff Eben runs third, the rest of the field starting to string out behind. 100 miles, 25 laps around this place. You think of 25 laps not being a very long event, but you've got a lot of time at Road America, don't you?
Oh, Road America is a very long lap. You're 2:05 on a lap here, and this takes a lot of time, and it's also very easy to slip wide here. As you can see, there was some moisture earlier on, some rain. It's going to be very slick outside the racing groove, and if you get in that grass, there's a good chance you're not stopping until you hit something.
Heading into the carousel here, Amy Ruman trying to reel in Doug Peterson, the race leader in the 87. Amy Ruman trailing in the championship by 3 points coming in this weekend at Road America. Doug Peterson doing a very nice job to hold on to the lead. Cliff Eben in the white 36, the Ford Mustang, very quick as well. We get on board one of our Replay XD onboard looks from one of our front-looking cameras in Eben's Mustang. You see the throttle action there, too.
Yeah, that's very cool. Going through the carousel section at Road America here, a lot of throttle modulation. Coming into the fastest corner at Road America, the kink. This is a corner that takes your breath away. Whether you're in a TA2 or a TA or TA3 class, that corner is fast.
Taking a look at some of the TA3 machinery coming up through the back, some of the American Muscle and the international entries. One of the Porsches there, the 5 car, into the left-hander under the Johnsonville Bridge. So a lot of action throughout the back, as you would imagine. Now, you've run a nationwide car here several times. You get 48 cars on this racetrack. It's going to be a busy day.
Absolutely, busy day. You know, this is a long course, but anytime that you can put, 50 competitors on the racetrack at one time, and in 3 different classes, which the cars are going to vary in speed, you're going to have some traffic, you're going to have some opportunities to put yourself in a situation to make up some ground.
That 39, the Camaro, Todd Napierowski leading TA3. Meantime, in Trans Am up front for 8th, Tony Ave in the 04 car, already on the move, getting by first strand to the 05.
Like I mentioned in the beginning of the show, Tony Ave, a lot of experience at road racing, been to Road America a bunch of times. Trans Am's really where he cuts his teeth, so not a surprise to see him working through the field so early on in the race.
Tony Ave trying to march toward the front of the PD for Life 04 car under the Sargento Bridge. It's been kind of a wet weekend here. Now this race getting a late start on Saturday. NASCAR's Nationwide Series running in front of this, and heavy rain delaying the start of that. Now the track's dried out pretty well.
Yeah, definitely exciting race in the Nationwide Series. We saw wet conditions, dry conditions, and at the tail end of that race, we had another little shower here. So a lot of these corners are still damp, and they're very slick.
Starting the race, though, on slicks. You wouldn't want to put rain tires on for the start of this one, would you?
Right. The track was dry enough. If you did start on the rain tires, they'd only last a handful of laps. So Trans Am took the idea of just going out there. We're going to start the race on slicks. We'll give you guys a couple laps under caution, build some heat in the tires, and let you go racing.
So Ave in the 04 moving around the 66 of Denny Lamers there as they hit the sweeper under the Johnsonville Bridge. Let's take a look at TA2 and see how things are shaping up there in the early going. VP Small Engine Fuels 100. There's your points leader, the North Star Chevrolet of Cameron Lawrence in the 1 car. He's got his hands full right now with Adam Andretti in that 44.
Yeah, there's a great battle up here for the top spot. We got the first 3 cars running nose to tail going through the carousel section. You can hear the tires squealing, which is awesome, just to let you know that they're on the edge hanging it out. Very cool.
Joe Ebben in the Mustang there, the 14, part of that Cliff Ebben, Denny Lamers group. Adam Andretti in the 44 leading the show right now. Lawrence looks like he may be a little quicker back there.
Yeah, it looks like he's just buying his time. You know, they're in some lap traffic there, just trying to navigate that. Coming down into Canada Corner, great opportunity to overtake, but it's also a high-risk zone. Not a lot of runoff here. You got a gravel trap. You know, this is one of those corners where I wait for the last lap. I try not to pass in Canada Corner unless you absolutely have to.
Sometimes you know you're running out of time, and you better make the move when you can. Adam Andretti starting to build that lead just a little bit in TA2. Great action in this category. I love what Trans Am has done with these cars. If you look inside them, it's kind of like a short track stock car, and then the crate motors really bring in the cost.
Yeah, the crate motor not only brings in the cost, but it levels the playing field a little bit too. It gives you a spec engine, a platform that can go all season long with not a lot of rebuilds. This is going to allow more cars, and it's going to allow more people to enter into the sport.
Cameron Lawrence back there in the red number 1 trying to make a move on Joe Evans' white Mustang. He's got his hands full right behind him. That's Ron Keith in the 25, the off-site Ford Mustang, one of Mike Cope's team cars. Mike Cope racing out of the NASCAR short track ranks, coming to Trans Am a year or so ago. They put some fast race cars together.
Absolutely. Very, very competitive. But what's amazing to me is how much these TA2 cars are sliding around. You can see them working the tires very hard, and a lot of that is they're on a spec tire that is a little bit smaller than TA2.
Absolutely the case. Adam Andretti continuing to lead the chase in Trans Am 2. Evan right behind him, putting some pressure on the outside.
A very difficult move to make there going down into turn 5. Didn't pull it off, but a very good effort.
Adam Andretti continues to hold on. Evan really trying there, but gives up a couple of car lengths in the balance. Lawrence sitting third. The overall leader is still Doug Peterson. We'll be right back at Road America. Our coverage today is being brought to you by VP Racing Fuels, the official racing fuel of the Trans Am Series, and by VP Small Engine Fuels.
Fire and EMS professionals often use gas-powered tools and depend on this equipment to start when needed. That's why they use VP Small Engine Fuel, formulated with no ethanol to prevent fuel system damage and ensure easier starts. It's designed for both 2- and 4-cycle engines, and the 2-cycle blend comes pre-mixed with oil and ready to pour. Try VP Small Engine Fuel, the perfect fuel for your gas-powered tools.
This is Bob. Bob's on a first date, so he's not thinking about where to buy his next set of tires. But if he were, all he'd need to know is TireRack.com. They stock over 1 million tires and can have yours shipped to a trusted, independent, recommended installer in as little as 1 business day. But Bob's not thinking about tires. Bob's thinking, should I tell her about that thing in her teeth? TireRack.com. Find, deliver, install.
Accidents. Nobody likes to think about it, but if you were the victim of an accident, what would happen to your family? In addition to the tragedy of your loss, they'd have to deal with the stress of one less paycheck, possibly the only paycheck. That's why it makes sense to protect your family with insurance through Matrix Direct. You can get $50,000 of coverage for less than $9 a month. There's no medical exam, no health questions, no application. All it takes is one phone call and you're covered.
Emergency safety crews depend on their gas-powered equipment to start when they need it. That's why they use VP Small Engine Fuel, formulated with no ethanol to prevent fuel system damage and ensure easier starts. It's designed for both 2- and 4-cycle engines, and the 2-cycle blend comes pre-mixed with oil and ready to pour. Try VP Small Engine Fuels in your gas-powered tools so they'll start when you need them.
Attention patients who have had hip replacement surgery.
If you or a loved one have had a DePuy, Stryker, or other brand of metal-on-metal hip implant and are suffering complications, call the Relion Group right now.
Metal-on-metal hip implants can fail, often requiring a complete removal of the implant. Over time, these implants may also lead to metallosis, a serious condition caused by heavy metal toxicity. If you have had a metal-on-metal hip implant, call the Relion Group right now. You may be entitled to financial compensation. If you or a loved one have had a metal-on-metal hip implant and needed premature revision surgery, or had blood work detecting heavy metals such as chromium or cobalt as a result of your implant, you may be owed compensation from the manufacturer. Call the Reliant Group right now to be connected to an experienced attorney for a free consultation. You don't owe us a penny unless we are successful.
If you or a loved one had a DePuy, Stryker, or other metal-on-metal hip replacement,
Call the Reliant Group at 1-800-946-1319.
Welcome back to Road America. We're in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin for coverage of the Trans Am Championship. I'm Rick Benjamin, NASCAR star Michael McDowell alongside. Greg Creamer will have our coverage on pit road. Amy Ruman has taken over the lead here in the McNichols Chevrolet, the 23, trying to win 2 in a row. She won at New Jersey a couple of weeks ago. She's gotten by points leader Doug Peterson.
Yeah, great battle here for the TA lead here. We got 3 cars battling for that spot. Doug Peterson, veteran in the series, veteran in motorsports, but he's got his hands full today.
Rich Jones in one of the TA3 American Muscle Mustangs has gone off right before the carousel. Gets it back up on the racetrack. Just a local yellow for that. Back up front, meantime, you were talking about Doug Peterson. He's got about 4 car lengths to try to make up here on Amy Ruman.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, a lot of power in these Trans Am cars, so a lot of this you just got to save your tires. This is only a 25-lap race, but you can still wear out those rear tires.
Everybody gets a chance to cool them off a bit. We've gone full course yellow, not for the earlier incident with the Mustang. This a wreck, a Porsche involved with one of the Mustangs in TA2. This is a GT3 car from TA3. Let's take a Replay XD onboard look here. Not immediately in front of us, a couple of TA2 Camaros involved. A little further up, you see that black car sideways contact from Jerry Green's Porsche GT3 there. Green from Minnetonka, Minnesota. The Evergreen Jewelry car, full course yellow, safety car will be out. Now, Trans Am has been revived over the last couple of seasons. A couple of great series veterans commenting to us before the start today about what the new Trans Am series means, both in Trans Am and Trans Am 2.
Well, I think we're headed in the right direction. We've got a lot of cars, multiple class racing, which is what road racing is these days. We've got some new exciting bodies coming for the Trans Am class. The racing in all 3 divisions has been really close, and so I'm really looking positive towards the future that we're just going to keep building on it.
I think the direction of Trans Am 2 is a fantastic direction because it's given the people an opportunity to buy an inexpensive, relatively inexpensive car, that the parts are cheaper, the racing is going to be closer because they're watching through the rules and through the restriction of the motor of how much money somebody can actually put into it. And I think that you're going to see in the next 2 or 3 years your 35 to 40 car fields, and it's going to be great racing, very competitive. The cars look like the cars that are on the street. They sound good. They're fun to drive. They're a blast to drive.
Great to have Tommy and his brother Bobby Archer, the Archer brothers, back in Trans Am. NASCAR star Ty Dillon, meantime, struggling a bit. Here's Greg Creamer.
Well, you know, when you go yellow, sometimes things happen after that. In this case, there's been a report that Ty Dillon, of course, making his debut in the TA2 category in the Trans Am series, may have passed a couple of cars under yellow. Obviously, different rules between this series and the NASCAR Nationwide series that he just competed in. They have told him, you got a couple of laps here under caution to give those spots back, otherwise it will be a penalty. So keep an eye on that.
Yeah, after caution, sometimes these things happen, just miscommunication. Give those spots back under yellow, and you'll get the restart right where you were.
Amy Ruman will be the restart leader when we come back here at Road America. Welcome back to Road America in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. Coverage of the Trans Am, America's Road Racing Series, the VP Small Engine Fuels 100 Miles of Madness. Alongside Michael McDowell, I'm Rick Benjamin. Greg Creamer with our coverage on pit road. Getting set for a restart. You accelerate up the hill to the green flag here. Unique in road racing. Yeah, it is unique in road racing. You know, single file restart here. As you come up to the start-finish line of Road America, it's kind of blind, so you can't really see the flagman until you get to the top of the hill. But looks like Doug Peterson's got a little run on Amy here. Peterson in that yellow three-dimensional.com machine, the defending series champion, going to try an outside move as they head to turn one. Now, outside turn one, very difficult to pull off. Amy Ruman able to hold on to the point as she holds the line at the bottom of the racetrack. Cliff Edmonds sitting third right now. John Bauckham back there in fourth. Tony Ave, former series champion, on the move. He takes over fourth spot. Yeah, Tony Ave's definitely on the move. Started 16th in this race. Has already worked himself up to fourth position. I don't think Tony was necessarily planning to run, but when he got here, he said, hey, I love racing at Road America. He picked up a ride, and he is on fire here today. Well, Tony Ave is a race car driver, so if there's an open seat, he's going to be in it. Ruman is your leader in that red 23, the McNichols entry. Peterson in second spot, Evan in third, Ave now fourth. John Bauckham, series veteran, in that Ford Mustang, the 86 from Charlotte, North Carolina. Runs a high-performance business not far from where we live in Charlotte, sitting fifth in that green and yellow entry. And there's Ave in the 04. Rest of your running order, top of your screen. We'll keep you posted with our scoring strip, of course, as always. Our coverage of the Trans Am Championship. Still to come later this season, we'll take you to Mid-Ohio in the month of August. We'll have coverage of that 100-mile event for you as well on many of these same channels. Denny Lamers from Appleton, Wisconsin. He's the teammate to Cliff Evan, who's running up in the top three right now in that white 66. David Furstrand in the 05 out of Fort Worth, Texas, a little further back in the Trans Am running order. And the veteran Simon Gregg, Peter's son, in Jim Durhag's number 59. Talk about a race team that has been at this a long time. Jim Durhag from Minnesota drove in this series for a long time, now fields a couple of very fast race cars here. Now, I know these guys are really excited to see Trans Am come back to Road America and come back strong with 50 cars. So a lot of guys are pumped up. There's a lot of hype around this series right now, and some great racing going down here in the Canada corner. Dave Pintarek in the 57 as well, started 15th. He's up to 7th, so he's on the charge, trying to track down Simon Gregg for 6th. Yeah, it's great racing right now throughout the field. It's really cool to see. As they come into turn 14 here, very tricky. This leads on to the longest straightaway at Road America. This is where your pass is set up. You get a good run off 14, shoot up that hill, and in these Trans Am cars, you're seeing 180, 185 miles an hour going down into turn one. So the draft is pretty important here. Absolutely. Long enough straightaway. These cars are big. They have big bodies, so they punch a big hole in the air. Anytime you're within 4 or 5 car lengths, you're going to pick up a few mile an hour down each straightaway. On board with Cliff Evan, one of our replay XD looks here, that Ford Mustang, the 36. Get a look ahead, the second place car of Doug Peterson in that right hand. I can't get past the throttle camera there. That is so cool to watch him modulating that throttle. Adam Andretti, meantime, in the Engineered Components 44, continuing to lead in Trans Am 2. He's got his hands full with Cameron Lawrence, the defending series champion. Yeah, great battle for the lead. One thing I'm noticing with these TA2 cars is they slide around a lot. A lot of fun to watch, but definitely a lot of car control there. As they go through the corners, it seems like they can hang that car out, and the cars aren't losing any speed, so the tires are holding on very well. It's going to be a tight battle up here for sure. Tight battle for third in TA2. Ron Keith in the red machine there. The Camaro working his way around Joe Evans' Mustang, so give Keith third spot. On board here, one of our Replay XD on board looks with Cameron Lawrence, really putting pressure on Adam Andretti. He is all over Adam Andretti. Coming into a tricky section of the racetrack, not a lot of room to pass, but if he sets this up well, he'll get a good shot down in turn 8. Oh, Adam goes off, goes over the curb there. That gives the shot to Cameron Lawrence. An outside move is very difficult through the kink there, but looks like he pulled it off. Cameron Lawrence and Adam Andretti side by side. A mistake by Adam, and here comes Lawrence in that C-Tech North Star entry, taking over the top spot in TA2. Under the Johnsonville Bridge now, into the sweeper. Man, look at them sliding these cars around 100, 125 miles an hour through the carousel, setting up for the kink. It looks like Adam's losing a little bit of ground to Lawrence here. Not sure if he overheated the tires when he slid wide, but maybe regroup and mount up another run. And that's one of those things, if you're Lawrence, you love putting pressure on a guy like Adam Andretti and kind of forcing him to make that mistake. Yeah, anytime you can cause another driver to make a mistake, which we have another caution. Looks like it'll be a full course yellow. This at the final corner. 3 cars involved. Looks like a couple of TA2 entries and one of the TA3 cars in the international category. We'll see who it is exactly as the cars come back up onto the racetrack. Heavy damage to the number 10 Camaro. That's one of the SeaTech North Star entries as well. So the field is under caution for the second time here at Road America. Let's take another look. Again, Replay XD giving us these great onboard views. Mel Shaw.
Now, it looks like Mel just got into turn 14 a little bit too hard. Slight contact, blocked the road, nowhere for the other cars to go, and that's what you have at a road course, especially wet conditions like this.
Tim Gray in the 60 car and then collecting the 5 in TA3. Milt Grant's entry out of Germantown, Tennessee, one of the international category cars. So full course yellow at the exit of the final corner. Great crowd on hand this weekend here at Road America for NASCAR Nationwide action and the return of the Trans Am Championship, America's Road Racing Series. At TA3, Ernie Francis is your leader.
Fire and EMS professionals often use gas-powered tools and depend on this equipment to start when needed. That's why they use VP Small Engine Fuel, formulated with no ethanol to prevent fuel system damage and ensure easier starts. It's designed for both 2- and 4-cycle engines, and the 2-cycle blend comes pre-mixed with oil and ready to pour. Try VP Small Engine Fuel, the perfect fuel for your gas-powered tools.
Accidents. Nobody likes to think about it. But if you were the victim of an accident, what would happen to your family? In addition to the tragedy of your loss, they'd have to deal with the stress of one less paycheck, possibly the only paycheck. That's why it makes sense to protect your family with insurance through Matrix Direct. You can get $50,000 of coverage for less than $9 a month. There's no medical exam, no health questions, no application. All it takes is one phone call and you're covered.
When you have credit card debt, the debt suckers' high rate and high pay are everywhere.
Ooh, they're making another minimum payment. Great. Most of the money goes to us. We'll suck the life out of them.
Because your credit card rates are so high, you can't get rid of the debt suckers alone.
Their minimum payments are in vain. No, that's juicy.
But one call to Consolidated Credit can get the debt suckers off your neck.
Thank you for calling Consolidated Credit.
Oh no, they'll lower his rates and consolidate his bills into one low payment. He'll pay off his debt in no time. Consolidated Credit drives us batty.
Call Consolidated Credit now. Call now and get your life back.
Oh, because debt sucks.
Call now.
Call Consolidated Credit at 1-800-239-7198. 1-800-239-7198. That's 1-800-239-7198. Call now.
Welcome back to Road America, coverage of the Trans Am Championship. Full course yellow for the second time today in the VP Small Engine Fuels 100. Let's get an update on the crash damage. Here's Greg.
And problems for the number 60. That is the Ryan Company Chevrolet Camaro of Tim Gray. Not a car you normally see him in. He normally runs a Porsche in the TA3 International category. Actually, to such great effect, he came in here very strongly placed in the points in that category. Such is the draw, though, of TA2 that he wanted to give it a go. Damage to the back of that car. They've just looked. The damage is severe enough. They've told him, they've given him the slash across the throat and said, your day is done. Tough break for Tim Gray moving in to TA2.
Yeah, it looks like it was beyond cosmetic and maybe some rear suspension issues there, and unfortunately they're out of the race.
Battle here for the lead meantime as the green flies again. Here's Doug Peterson on the outside of Amy Ruman on the charge into one.
Yeah, great side-by-side racing.
Whoa.
Amy is doing a great job on these restarts, protecting that inside line. Doug is timing it well, but it is hard to pass on the outside here at Road America.
Amy Ruman trying to protect the lead, win her second Trans Am in a row here in 2014. Right behind those two, though, Tony Ave on the move. He took third on that restart.
And Tony Ave's loving this. Side-by-side in front of him. He is just waiting for the opportunity to pounce.
Eben back there in fourth. John Bauckham is fifth. Simon Gregg on the move as well. He's still sixth, but trying to make hay off that restart. Here is Ruman into the left-hander. Still on top, up the hill out of turn 5.
Yeah, as they head up into turn 6 here, like I said, this is a section that you're not going to pull off a lot of passing, but you can set up that pass going into turn 8.
No change among the top 4 or 5. Jim Durhag's 59, handled by Simon Gregg out of Florida, trying to move back into contention. Simon, a very strong runner in this category, has struggled a bit here this weekend. We show you the running order in Trans Am 2 meantime at the top of your screen, where some of the greatest racing you'll see anywhere is taking place right now. But these are the big bore machines, the 2,500-pound, 800-horsepower Trans Am beasts that make that 190-mile-an-hour charge up the front straightaway. Look at the grip. Amy Ruben just stretching it out here out of the carousel.
Yeah, Amy's doing a great job. Doug's been pushing and pressuring her, been diving and weaving and getting in her mirror, but she is head down, focused, and pulling away.
After those 2 full-course yellows, you've had a couple of opportunities to cool your tires and get a little bit of, kind of regroup a little bit as a driver.
Yeah, we haven't had a lot of long runs here, but we've had some great racing. The caution, bunches everything up, but I want to see these things 4 or 5 laps into the run and see who really has a strong car.
Amy Ruben in the McNichols Chevrolet out of Ohio. Continuing to dominate. Doug Peterson in the 3dimensional.com 87 car in second spot out of the final corner, up the front stretch one more time. This is where Tony Ave has been so strong.
Yeah, Tony Ave's getting a great run off of 14 in that slipstream of Doug Peterson. Now Doug has to worry about his mirror. So Amy's going to be able to pull away. If she can hit her marks here for the next couple laps, she might be able to build a gap on Doug.
Cliff Evan in the 4, the white Mustang back there in 4th spot. He's not out of this thing by any means at all. Tony Ave trying to reel him in. Meantime, at TA2, Cameron Lawrence is still your leader. Adam Andretti there in the silver 44, the ACC car. Ron Keith in the off-site machine in 3rd position out of Shawnee, Kansas, former oval track racer, having a great run here today.
And that was a really great shot coming off of turn 1. Ron Keith was hanging that car out. This TA2 class has put on a great race all day long, and what I think is awesome about Trans Am Series, whether we're watching TA or TA2, there is a battle for the lead happening, and this is a great battle here. Adam Andretti is closing in on Cameron Lawrence. It's going to be tight here as they get later into the race. It's going to be exciting to see who can pull this off.
Adam Andretti in the engineered components car in 2nd spot. He has been right in the thick of the championship battle all season. Ron Keith and one of Mike Cope's entries right there as well. Meantime, up front, it's still Amy Ruben in the McNichols Company 23. Doug Peterson in 2nd, a couple of car lengths back. Peterson has led laps here, of course. It is the defending series champion. 3rd spot belongs to Tony Ave. Cliff Evan, who's had a lot of success here. He's a local driver out of Wisconsin, putting plenty of pressure on Ave now. He's not giving up by any means.
It's a 4-way battle right now, but it's looking to be a 5-way battle. This is great competition here.
Amy Ruben, meantime, with a lot of success in these cars. Her 2nd career win a couple of weeks ago. Can she win the title this season?
We're pretty excited. We've had some really good races in the past few races, and this season's going pretty well for us. So we're about to, restart the championship at this race because we're only 2 points behind Doug. So it's kind of anybody's game at this point.
Amy Ruben with great hopes for this 2014 season. It would be her first championship in Trans Am competition. Back in TA3, meantime, some of the international and American muscle machines doing battle.
Yeah, really cool. You got a Camaro, a Porsche, followed by a Ford. So this is great. This is great racing here. The Porsche is the international in the middle here. And it looks like we got another local caution there. Not sure if it's a full course.
I think that's one of the fixed rim entries in TA2 with some damage. I could see that yellow Camaro kind of limping his way up one of the short straightaways here as the TA3 battle rages on alongside. Easy to go off here at Road America, isn't it, Michael McDowell?
It is, and in that section, high-speed kink, looks like a little bit of suspension damage. All you have to do is slide one tire off and you're into the guardrail.
From Pompano Beach, Florida, Tom Ellis in that Ford, the 51. Let's get a replay XD onboard look with Amy Ruben, meantime, as she gives up the lead to Doug Peterson.
Yeah, Doug Peterson slid through there, going up the hill into turn 6, taking the lead. So with this clean air, we'll see if Doug Peterson can stretch out that lead.
Meantime, in TA3, American Muscle, this is your leader, the breathless performance entry of Ernie Francis. He's out of Florida as well. Ernie trying to make some hay there. One of the Archer Brothers TA2 cars, the white and black machine, off the pace. Francis doing a very nice job.
Yeah, Francis doing a great job, and that is a high-speed area to have a car stalled or broke down in the middle of the straightaway there.
Up front, Doug Peterson, the 3dimensional.com 87, getting by Amy Ruben, who had led several laps earlier. Peterson now in clean air, starting to stretch it back out.
Yeah, he's pulling away, maybe 1 or 2 car lengths here, but Amy's hanging tough, and we'll see if she can mount up a charge.
Peterson out in front, opens the door for Amy Ruman.
Yeah, Doug just got in a little bit too deep into Canada corner, slid wide.
And there's the 51, still off the pace. We saw Tim Ellis earlier with problems. He gets back on the racetrack, but unexpectedly, the leaders catch him in a bad place there.
Yeah, that could have been really bad. A lot of elevation changes at Road America, a lot of blind corners. And when you're sitting that low in a Trans Am car and you come out of that hill there, when you see a car slow, that is a big surprise for sure.
Peterson opens up the lead now, 7 or 8 car lengths. Amy Ruman seemingly off the pace a little. Let's see what Tony Ave has for her as they head down into turn 1 on the outside. Ave trying to take second spot.
And Ave had to give it back there. Local caution going into turn 1. He had a great run, but as you can see, that car does not have power. And we're probably going to have to go full course caution here in a minute.
As that lead battle continues to rage, the battle for second even better at the moment. That Archer Brothers car that was slow on the front stretch earlier, David Mazik in the 71. He's out of Florida, and he was in the gravel trap there, out of harm's way. Another car out of harm's way here in the grassy area. You got to be mindful of all this. Road America is such a high-speed place, Michael McDowell. If you make a mistake and put a wheel off, you can have a very tough ride.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, anytime you have a car stalled on the side of the racetrack, it's a high-risk situation. If those cars don't get going here, I'm sure they're going to go full course caution. But, you know, Tony Ave still got the pressure on Amy, really pushing her hard here. But now he has to look out his mirror.
Yeah, because Cliff Eben is right there as well, knocking on the door as they hit the right-hander. It's still the 87 of Doug Peterson out in front. Amy Ruman second. Tony Ave is third. How about Tony Ave's bid here today? Let's head downstairs and check in with Greg.
Well, things are getting interesting here as Doug Peterson has gone back around Amy Ruman, but Tony Ave, filling in for Kurt Rohrig, has marched his way up and is now hounding Amy Ruman. We went to the crew and asked, you know, he's not in it for the points championship, obviously. Is he going for the win, or is he going to be mindful of this battle? Only 3 points separating Peterson and Ruman. The crew chief looked at me and said, nobody knows what Tony's going to do except Tony. I guess we're going to have to watch it play out. This is great fun.
Racing with Tony Ave, he is a racer. He is going to go for it. He is not thinking about points or anybody else's points championship.
Yeah, Tony Ave here to win and win only. There's Magic's car, the 71 on the outside of turn 1. That'll bring out a local yellow at the very least. And trouble for the 14, Joe Eben from Mequon, Wisconsin. Part of that Stump Ford team. Cliff Eben and Denny Lamers up front at TA2. His bid is done today as well. A lot of campers enjoying the Trans Am fun at Road America. Welcome back to Road America, Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. Coverage of the Trans Am, America's Road Racing Series, the VP Small Engine Fuels 100 Miles of Madness. With Michael McDowell, I'm Rick Benjamin. Green flag back in the air, battling for second. Here's Ave swinging to the inside of Amy Ruman.
Yeah, Ave got a great restart there, was able to clear Amy getting into turn 1, but Doug Peterson timed it perfect, opened up a 5-6 car length gap on that restart.
Peterson in the 87 all by himself. We'll see what Tony Ave can do. Ave, of course, former series champ, builds several of these cars. One of the guys who's really been heavily involved in the revival of Trans Am, former champion, stepping out of the race car on a weekly basis this year. Let's get on board a Replay XD onboard view here from Amy Ruman. We're hearing from pit road, Michael. She may be having some brake issues.
Yeah, Road America, very challenging on brakes. You have high speed with tight 90-degree corners, just like turn 5 here. You know, like I mentioned before, these Trans Am cars are reaching 100, 185 miles an hour, and to get them slowed down, you use a lot of brake pressure, generate a little bit too much heat, and she might just have a long pedal. It doesn't usually come back, is the thing. Once you experience brake trouble, you just have to manage it, and you have to give what the day will allow you to take.
You've got to think through your braking points, your shift points, and everything if you know you don't have enough brakes in that car.
Yeah, absolutely, and maybe just in this this traffic here, she's just not getting the cooling that she needs, and she's got to think championship. Brakes will fade a little bit, but if you keep pushing them and pushing them, eventually they will fail. So she might need to just take a little bit of a approach here to think about the championship, let those brakes come back to her.
So Amy Ruman in the red 23, the McNichols Company entry out of Ohio, sitting third. There's Cliff Eben in the stump 4, the 36. Veteran of GT1 and Trans Am competition. Couple of wins here at Road America in his driving resume, sitting in 4th. Peterson, meantime, the defending Trans Am champion. Great driver who's been around for a long time. Michael, you mentioned racing with him in Star Mazda not that many years ago. Oh, the 57 of Pintarek into the corner, too hot on Simon Gregg, goes around into the kitty litter. That'll bring out at least a local yellow.
Yeah, heading down into Canada corner there, pulled out for the pass, got a little bit of brake lock up, and luckily did not have any contact in the gravel trap. Hopefully be able to fire it up and pull out of there.
So we take a look here, one more look at the replay. Pintar trying to muscle inside of Simon Gregg.
Wow, that was close. Very tight quarters there. Almost collected the car in front of him there, so very lucky to walk away from that accident without any damage.
Doesn't look like anything is too severely damaged, but it may take him a while to get out of this spot on the racetrack. Oh, meantime, Amy Ruman has gone around. She has stopped. This is on a paved section. This is turn 5. She gets refired, gives up a lot of racetrack.
I imagine this is due to that brake issue she's having. Down into turn 5, heaviest brake zone. More than likely, she's still having those issues.
On board with Amy, the Replay XD onboard view here into 5.
Yeah, as you can see there, a lot of rear hop. And what that means is the front brakes are not working. So she has all rear brakes. So as she goes down to the corner, hits the brakes, rear tires lock up, and nothing that she can do.
Up front, meantime, now it's a 2-car battle. Doug Peterson in the 87 trying to lap by a slower TA3 machine. He'll take Tony Ave with him. Let's get on board with Ty Dillon, meantime, in the 12 car.
Yeah, Ty's running in the top 5, and really this weekend, running the Trans Am Series gives him a little extra seat time. Hopped right out of the Nationwide car into the Trans Am car. A lot of fun for him this weekend.
Doing really well. Another former NASCAR veteran, very excited about the rise of TA2.
A guy can still come out, take a relatively inexpensive car, and race and have some fun. You know, that's what it's all about. And I've always wanted to do this. I've wanted to do it since way back in the day. You know, from All Pro and Busch cars and things of that nature, and finally getting to do it. Actually living a dream, I think.
Mike Cope, a guy who's won races in the NASCAR Truck Series, former NASCAR Slim Jim All-Pro champion, for those of you with that bit of racing history in your minds. Here's John Bauckham, meantime, in the 86 out of Charlotte, North Carolina. That Ford Mustang sitting 4th, trying to track down the car of Cliff Eben and take over 3rd spot. Peterson and Ave, looks like it'll be a slugfest to the finish here at Road America. Peterson, Tony Ave, Eben, John Bauckham, and Simon Gregg, your top 5. We'll be right back.
Emergency safety crews depend on their gas-powered equipment to start when they need it. That's why they use VP Small Engine Fuel, formulated with no ethanol to prevent fuel system damage and ensure easier starts. It's designed for both 2- and 4-cycle engines, and the 2-cycle blend comes pre-mixed with oil and ready to pour. Try VP Small Engine Fuels in your gas-powered tools so they'll start when you need them.
This is Kenny. Kenny is a dentist, but he races autocross on the weekends. But he's not thinking about his tires right now. Kenny buys all his tires from TireRack.com. Using their exclusive test track reviews, he knows he's always getting the right tires for his car. But Kenny's not thinking about tires right now. Kenny's thinking, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. This is awesome. TireRack.com, proud sponsor of the Tire Rack SCCA National Solo Program.
Attention Actos users. Recent studies show that the diabetes drug Actos may increase your risk of bladder cancer. If you or a loved one have been diagnosed with bladder cancer after taking Actos, call the Rely On Group now for a free legal consultation. You may be entitled to a cash settlement. The FDA has issued a safety alert to all Actos users. If you or someone you love have suffered bladder cancer after taking Actos, the manufacturer may be to blame. Call the Rely On Group right now to be connected with an experienced attorney for a free consultation and to see if you may qualify for financial compensation. There is absolutely no risk on your part. You don't owe us a penny unless we are successful. Do not delay. There are time deadlines to file a claim. If you or a loved one have been diagnosed with bladder cancer after taking Actos,
call the Rely On Group at 800-730-1376. That's 800-730-1376.
Did you know home appliance and major system breakdowns cost homeowners an average of $1,700 per year in repairs and replacements?
American Residential Warranty can help cover those costs with home service plans starting at less than $1 a day.
Plan options include coverage for central air, heat, and ductwork,
Interior electrical systems and plumbing,
major kitchen appliances,
water heaters,
washers and dryers,
garage door openers,
ceiling fans, and more.
even pools and spas.
American Residential Warranty replaced my dishwasher with a brand new one, and I only paid a small service fee.
I woke up on a Saturday morning, there was no hot water in the shower. So I called American Residential Warranty. They sent a repairman to fix the problem the same day.
Call now. There's no obligation. But hurry, if you wait until you need a home service repair,
it'll be too late.
Call now to get your home warranty. 1-800-955-8930. That's 1-800-955-8930.
Welcome back to Road America, Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. The VP Small Engine Fuels 100 miles of madness. I'm Rick Benjamin. NASCAR star Michael McDowell alongside Greg Creamer providing our coverage today here on Pit Road. Late stages of this 100-miler on board the Replay XD onboard views from Cliff Evans' machine, sitting up in the top 3 in this Ford Mustang.
Yeah, and he's been there all day. Really solid run. Just got around Tone Ave. Not sure if Ave's having problems here late in the race, but Cliff just slid by him going down into turn 8 as he enters into the carousel.
Cliff Evans with less than 2 laps to go here at Road America, about 6 or 7 miles of racing. Don't know if he's got enough to get up and challenge Doug Peterson's Chevrolet.
Yeah, Doug's got some open air here. Not a lot of pressure yet, but you know, there's still 2 laps to go. Doug hasn't won this race yet.
Cliff Evans with plenty of local knowledge. They test here at Road America. He's got a lot of races, a lot of laps at this place. If anybody knows his way around here, it would be Cliff Evans. Meantime, Peterson being held up ahead.
Yeah, you got a lot of traffic here with having 50 cars out on the racetrack. Doug's weaving his way through traffic. But as he sets up here, a big gap, about 14 car lengths heading up to the turn 14.
Peterson and Evans getting around the slower car a moment ago, coming to the white flag. Doug Peterson all by himself. Now, Michael McDowell, you've been in this position. You've got a comfortable lead. You see the white flag. What do you think?
It's great and horrid at the same time. You know you have this thing wrapped up as long as you can get through 14 corners without any mistakes, but you still have to get through those 14 corners.
Meantime, take a look back at what's going on in TA2. The points leader, Cameron Lawrence, in the 1 car, the C-Tech entry. He's still got about a 10-car length lead over Adam Andretti.
Yeah, they've been battling all day. Adam's been right in that second position, led early on in the race, but now coming up the white flag, a little bit of gap, a little bit of breathing room. But once again, you still got lap traffic to deal with, and you got one more lap to put together.
Ty Dillon sitting 4th, meantime, in his first venture in Trans Am. We're on board here. Cameron Lawrence with one of our Replay XD onboard looks. Also want to give a call to Bob Stretch in that Fix Rim Chevrolet. He's won several of these TA2 races the last couple of years. A nice top 5 run today, it looks like, for Bob Stretch. Looking back at Adam Andretti's Chevrolet. Meantime, the race leader, Peterson, last couple of corners for the guy who's leading the championship here in Trans Am.
Yeah, it's cool to see Doug out front here. A guy that's been racing a very long time, but helped a lot of guys in their careers. Myself, you know, coming up through the Star Mazda ranks, Doug was there, a sponsor of mine, Brian Sellers, a lot of guys that Doug's passionate about racing, but he's passionate about helping people here, and it looks like he might get the victory lane.
Doug Peterson very smooth in this 3-dimensional .com 87. He's got Mel Shaw's TA2 car to navigate by. Shaw out of Voorhees, New Jersey, involved in one of those earlier scrambles in the Bay Investments 10 car.
It's the last thing you want to see on the last lap. Couple corners ago, but Doug did a great job navigating through there, and he should be home free now.
Doug Peterson with a couple of corners still to navigate. Eben will pick his way by Mel Shaw's machine as well. Here is Doug Peterson, the three-dimensional.com 87, final turn here at Road America. He'll come up the hill one last time and look to the checkered flag.
Oh, there's no better feeling than crossing the finish line, seeing the checkered flags. Doug managed that race great, got a great race start, got around Amy, got in the lead, and held him off to the end.
Doug Peterson is your winner in the VP Small Engine Fuels 100 Miles of Madness. Second spot to Cliff Eben in his Ford, the number 36. So Peterson picks up another win with Amy Ruman's problems. Looks like she will finish today, but far down the lap charts. Peterson will add to his championship lead.
Yeah, Doug did, but I think this is going to be a tight battle. Amy showed a lot of speed. It's not going to be a giveaway for sure. She's going to pressure Doug all year long, and I imagine we're going to see Amy back in victory lane.
Cameron Lawrence will be your winner in TA2 today. So the checkered flag falls at Road America. We'll get a break in, come back, and recap the 100 Miles of Madness. Our coverage today has been brought to you by VP Racing Fuels, the official racing fuel of the Trans Am Series, and by VP Small Engine Fuels. And by Racing Electronics, your #1 source for professional race communications worldwide. And by Replay XD, the official onboard camera of the Trans Am Championship. Life's in HD, replay it. Back at Road America, Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, as we take a look at the breathless Camaro, the 9 car. Our winner in TA3 American Muscle today.
Yeah, doing a little celebration there, drifting around that final corner. But, you know, a lot of excitement. Anytime you win a race, a lot of emotions. Very cool to see.
Doug Peterson leads the field home in the 87 car, picks up another Trans Am win. Cliff Eben gets second. Tony Ave got snookered by Eben there, has to hang on for third in front of John Bauckham from Charlotte. Simon Gregg out of Florida and Jim Durhag's 59. Denny Lamers gets 9th in the 66 ahead of Richard Grant. David Pintarek, who spun, was able to come back and finish in front of Jim McAleese and Tom Ellis. Mickey Wright, Kerry Hitt, and Henry Gilbert, the rest of your 16-car Trans Am field. In victory lane, here's Greg Creamer.
And Doug Peterson, with some help from the crew, unhooking the belts and all of the various assorted tubes and the like that you have to be able to keep hydrated and focused and cool during a race with these absolute monster beasts in this car. Doug calls out, Doug, what a day for you. You come in here, you're in a heated points battle, obviously, with Amy Ruman. 3 points up only at the start. You got the pole, that's what you wanted. And then what a race you put in, win number 3.
Yeah, thank you. This was an awesome win. You know, the Pro Motor, the Tony Ave Motorsports really helps out. And You know, I just drove as hard as I could the whole time. I didn't let up anywhere.
We talked at the start of the race. You were concerned about those track conditions. They even added an extra lap of caution. That what? The right call?
Yeah, absolutely the right call. I mean, we didn't know how much grip was going to be out there, and you know, these cars are so fast, but we have to slow down so much for those turns. So it was the right call. Absolutely great race.
And it paid off beautifully, and with Amy Ruman's issues, that lead has expanded quite a bit. Happy guy right here.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool to see Doug Peterson get the victory lane. Amy obviously did a great job, had some brake issues there, but the points gap has spread. You know, Doug expands his lead, but as we get into the final stages of this series, I think Amy will make a run.
Amy Ruman now 14 points back after finishing 6th today at Road America.
Well, battle scars here on the side of the McNichols Corvette. Amy Ruman, boy, it was a great race for the first half of it for you, right up in the front, everything looking great. Then we heard you had some wheel hop, and it caught you out.
Yeah, it caught us out. I was having problems with the brake adjuster, and I think we went a little bit too much to the rear. It was bound up, and I kept trying to get it undone, but then I went a little too far. And then in 5, it just gave me wheel hop, and around I went. Unfortunately, you know, this McNichols 23 was running hot today, boy. But, you know, you got Tony coming back and trying to muscle his way through the field, and that always makes for an interesting race, especially when his customers are first.
Aha, we understand. Next round of the championships, Mid-Ohio, that's a track you've always done awfully well at. A chance for you to rebound there.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we're not out of it yet. Don't count us out, that's for sure. Like I said earlier, it's going to get interesting. We're halfway through the season. Anything can happen. So maybe they'll all have a bad race next time. And it's my home track, so hopefully we'll get a win there.
As you can see, Amy Ruman still has a smile on her face, but you can feel the emotion, you can feel the disappointment. She's going to be hungry at Mid-Ohio, like she said, home track. I'll look to her to maybe challenge Doug for that win.
We'll see what happens in a couple of weeks. Cameron Lawrence, your winner in TA2 over Adam Andretti. Ron Keefe and Ty Dillon. We mentioned Bob Stretch earlier, finishes 5th. Lucier, Britt Casey, Stokey, DeFonts, and Tom Sheehan rounding out the top 10. Cameron Lawrence, the defending champion, gets the victory lane yet again. He's with Greg.
Well, when a season rolls your way, it rolls your way. This is the 6th round of the championship. Cam Lawrence, win number 5, front pole once again. You guys are back on track, and this championship battle, you're starting to stretch it a bit over Adam.
Well, it hasn't been easy, and, you know, fell back to 3rd, almost 4th at the start of the race, and kind of struggled with grip and flat spotted a couple of tires at the beginning and had to work really hard, and, you know, all these guys ran really well today, and even with the cautions, it was just a really tough, long race, and, you know, we just had enough at the end to beat Adam, but, I mean, he gave us a run for our money for sure.
Were the grip issues the cool and the damp out there, or was it that your car was set up to come in a little bit later?
Our car usually does come in a little bit later towards the end of the race, but I think the cool, kind of damp, wet track at the beginning hurt us braking, and I made a couple of mistakes, and luckily I was just able to capitalize on one of Adam's, but it came down to the end.
I'll tell you what, another great drive, and as I said, 5th win in 6 events. What a season.
Thank you.
5 wins in an ultra-competitive series. Not an easy feat for Cameron Lawrence. Very impressive.
Everybody celebrating here at Road America, the winners in various categories. Of course, we have TA3 American Muscle and International as well to show you. Ernie Francis wins in that 9-car. Rich Jones, Todd Napierowski, the top 3. Chuck Casaro struggled, but ends up 4th in the American Muscle category. Bodel and Ellis, the rest of the top 6 in American Muscle in TA3. And these are Trans Am entries that are quite quick as well. Clint Sawinski wins in the International category. Betts, Grant Berkeley, and Jerry Green, the rest of the first 5. Well, Michael McDowell, what did you think of Trans Am?
Unbelievable racing in all 3 classes. A lot of action at Road America. One of my favorite road courses in all of North America. Very exciting racing. Doug Peterson gets the win. I can't wait for the next one. I'm excited.
Next up for Trans Am, Mid-Ohio in August, and we'll have coverage of that event for you as well right here. It's been an exciting VP Small Engine Fuels 100 Miles of Madness. For Michael McDowell and Greg Creamer, we congratulate our winner today, Doug Peterson. Thanks for watching the Trans Am Series.